So the problem is to find the longest substring without repeating character. So for example, let's say they have given us like three strings. Excuse me. Um, this is the first string, second string, and third string. So what we need to do is we need to find the longest substring without repeating characters. So let's start with the first example. This guy. Let's start with A. So we go A, B, C, A. So now A is repeating. So we just stop at A, B, C. The length of this is 3. Now let's start with B. B, C, A, B repeating. So we have to stop. B, C, A. The length is 3. Now let's start with C. C, A, B, C. Again, C is repeating. So we have to remove that. We have to stop there. The length is C, A, B. That is 3. Let's start with A. A, B, C, B. Again, B is repeating, so we remove that. So the answer is ABC, which is 3. And let's start with this B. B, C. Again, B is repeating, so we have to remove that. So the answer, in this case, the length of the substring is 2. Let's start with C, B. Again, B is repeating, so we stop at CB. The length is 2. We start with B. B, again, B is repeating, so it's just B, length is 1, and then we start with last B, the length is 1. So the longest substring is any one of these. These are all these four are valid. So what we have to do is we have to write a function that will return 3. So we have to write a function that takes in the string A B C A B B and it returns 3. Okay, in the case of the second example, the length of the string is B B B B. So we start with B, the first character. The second is B, so it's repeating, so the length is 1. Second, so all of them are B. So in this case, the answer is 1. So you have to write a function that takes in the string B, 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 and it returns 1. Let's check the example number 3. The string input string is P, W, W, K, E, W. So let's start with P. Then we say W, second. The third is W. So again, it's repeating. So PW is a substring. The length is 2. Let's start with the second letter W. W, second is W, it's repeating, so we have to stop. So in this case, the answer is 1. Let's start with third string W. So we say W, K, E. Again, W is repeating, so we remove that. So the substring is W, K, E, the length is 3. Let's start with next, K, E, K, E, W, so length is 3. And let's start with E, E, W, the length is 2. And then last one is W, the length is 1. So since we have to find the longest substring, so any one of these two is correct and we have to return 3. All right, so how do we solve this? So what we do is first we create a set. Set is nothing but an unordered collection. Okay, so initially the set is empty. You create a variable called count, and the value assign the value of count. Value of count is equal to the length of number of characters. So in this case, PWWKEW, 6 characters are in the string, so count is 6. We have a variable I and j, initialize them to 0. There's a variable answer, initialize that to 0. Now what we want to do is we want to loop until while I is less than count and j is less than count. We want to keep looping it. Okay, so initially I is 0 and j is 0. So now what we want to do is we want to find out character at the index j, which is equal to 0. So in this case, it's p. And what we want to do is we want to check if p is in the set. It's not there. Then we add p to the set. We increment j by 1. So j becomes 1. And what we do is we update the value of answer to j minus I. So j is 1 minus I is 0 is equal to 1. So what we do is we check if j minus I is greater than the answer, then only we update it. If j minus I is less than the answer, then we don't update. So in this case, j minus I1 is greater than 0. Yes. So we go ahead, we update the value of answer to 1. Now we continue the loop. So in the second loop, I is still 0, j becomes 1. Right now we look at the character at index 1, which is w. We check if w is in the set. No, so we add it, and then we update j by 1 value. So j was 1, j becomes 2, and answer equal to j minus I, which is 2 minus 0, which is equal to 2. We check if this 2 is greater than 1. Yes, so we update it to 2. Now we go to the third iteration where I is still 0, j becomes 2, j becomes 2. So now we look at the character at 2, which is w. Does w exist in the set? Yes. If exists, then what we do is we remove the character that is at index I. So right now, what is I? I is 0. So we find the character that is at index 0, which is P. Right? So we go ahead and we remove P from the index, from the set, and we increment I by 1. Okay, we go to the next iteration. Now I is 1, j still remains 2. We again looked at the letter at index 0, 0, 1, 2, w. We see if w is in the set. Yes, it is there. So what we do is we find out the letter at index I. So letter at index I is 1. So the letter at index I is P, sorry, 0, 1. So is W. So we go ahead and we remove W from the set. Okay. And then what we do is we increment I to, and we don't do anything to J. J remains the same. J remains the same. Now in the next iteration, I is now 2. J is also 2. We look at the character at index J, which is W, and we see if W is in the set. No, so we add it. We increment J to 3, and then we do answer. We find out J minus I, sorry, answer equal to J minus I, that is 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. Is 1 greater than 2? No, then we don't update the value of answer. So what we do is whenever we find 3 minus I, it's 1, we look, we check this value with the value of the answer, which is 2. 1 is less, if 1 is less than 2, so we don't update it. We again continue the loop. I remains 2. I was already 2 here, so I remains 2. J is now 3. Look at the index at 3 at J. So 0, 1, 2, 3. K. Is K in the set? No. Then we add it. Increment J. Answer is J minus I. So 4 minus 2 is equal to 2. Is 2 greater than 2? No, though we don't update the answer. We keep going. Now I is 2, j becomes 4. Sorry, j becomes, yeah, j is 4. So again, we looked at the index character at 4. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is E. Is E in the set? No. Add it. Increment j by 1, 5. Update the answer is equal to j minus I. So 5 minus 2, 3. Is 3 greater than 2? Yes. So we update the answer to 3. We can continue the loop. I still remains 2. J is now 5. We look at index 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is W. Is W in the set? Yes. So W is in the set. So what we do is we we find out the we find out the we find out the character index I, which is 2. So let's find that out. 0, 1, 2, W, and we go ahead and remove that index W from there. We remove that. We don't increment J. What we do is we increment I becomes 3. J still remains the same as 5. Again, go to the next iteration. I becomes 3. J becomes 5. We look at the index at 5. 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is W. Is W in the set? No. So we add W to the set. We increment J to 6. I remains the same. Answer is J minus I, which is equal to 6 minus 5. So 6 minus 3, which is 3. Is 3 greater than is 3 greater than 3? No. Then we don't update the answer value of the answer. We iterate again. Now I still remains 3. J is now 6. Now since J is 6 and since J became 6 and the count is also 6, so this while loop will not execute because J is now not less than count. So since J less than count is not satisfied, it will exit the loop. And what we do is we return the value of answer variable, which is say 3 right now. So 3 is going to be the answer.